This is the Solid Signal podcast for the week of August 21st, 2017. And the subject for this week's podcast is smart TVs might not be all that smart. You know, smart TVs sounded like a great idea 6 or 7 years ago when they first came out. One television that had everything built in, fewer wires, fewer boxes. And, you know, if you pick the right one, you can even get your DirecTV, your dish receiver basically built into it. So think about it. You got your Netflix, you got your Hulu, you got your DirecTV or Dish, you have your over-the-air antenna. There's barely anything else that you'd need, maybe a speaker or something like that. And that sounds like heaven to a lot of people who do not terribly like wires. And I admit that I myself jumped into this trend with both feet because I thought, hey, it's great. I mean, why pay for something else? Why have a whole bunch of extra stuff? And then, I learned. Now, first of all, talking about the DirecTV or Dish experience, it really has improved a lot since the early days of 2012, 2013 when it first started. And if you buy the right TV, you're going to find that there's barely any difference between a smart TV and a DirecTV Genie client. However, it should be noted that your smart TV will need to have a coaxial cable run to it to use DirecTV or Dish. Doing it wirelessly does not work. Even though DirecTV has wireless clients of their own, and so does Dish, you must have cable run to the TV, and you must use something to convert it to Ethernet in the case of DirecTV, because it simply doesn't work any other way. The system is designed so it simply won't turn on any other way. So compared to, for example, a wireless client from DirecTV, you're actually adding more wires. The other thing that I found is over time, even the top name brand televisions stop getting updates. And new features are added all the time, and you kind of miss out on them. I stopped using the smart features in my 2011 smart TV about 4 years ago, to be straight with you, because realistically, they just weren't keeping up. The TV was slow, it didn't really work right, I wasn't getting the kind of apps that I wanted. For example, it didn't support the Amazon app. And so I had to go to a standalone streaming box anyway. And then there's the matter of the DirecTV or Dish receivers or clients, your Joeys or your Genie Mini clients, that sort of thing. And here's where I know that both DirecTV and Dish would love it if they could just get out of the client business and have smart TVs do all the work. And that way they could still charge you $7 a month for an additional location, but they wouldn't have to provide any hardware. That sounds great for them. But, you know, when it really comes down to it, I find that I get new features and bug fixes faster with my actual DirecTV and Dish clients than I do with the smart TVs. Sometimes it's a matter of 3 to 6 months. And that's because when it comes to the software inside the television, it's the manufacturers there that are doing all of the work on that software, as opposed to DirecTV kind of driving that. They can supply those fixes to the manufacturers, but they're not able to control how quickly they get rolled out. That may not make too much of a difference to you, but it might make a big difference if you're suffering, for example, with audio problems or dropped signal problems, and you don't know why. So basically, since it's impossible to get a high-end TV without smart features, I'd say go ahead and buy a smart TV. And then try it. And who knows, it might work for a year or two and make you perfectly happy that way. And then you're probably going to want to get a streaming device anyway at that point, unless the world is done changing, and I highly doubt that. Anyway, that's about all I've got for the Solid Signal podcast for this week. If you have ideas on future podcasts, send us a message, leave a comment on this video, go to the Contact Us link at the bottom of blog.solidsignal.com. And until I hear from you, you guys have a great week, and I will talk to you again with yet another podcast next week.